Guys, Spiky Wargamer Nick here, and sort of an interesting topic today. I think it would be worth your time if I went through the Eldar Codex and explained how to choose an HQ for your army. So, basically, there's two ways to approach HQs for your Eldar army, because as we all know, there's like 14 different options with different Farseers, Phoenix Lords, monstrous creatures. You know, everyone's specializing at something different, and each one of these has infinite army configurations. So, like I said earlier, the two ways to go about designing your army and your HQ is you can either design an HQ around your army or design an army around your HQ. Alright, so let's start with the first one. Designing an HQ around your army. So let's say you're a new Eldar player, and actually this can really go for anybody, but these are two different ways to look at how to choose your HQ to best fit your army and get done what you need to get done. So like I said, the first option, which is choosing an HQ that fits your army. I know they sound the same, but I'll explain the difference. Choosing an HQ that fits your army is you already have an army idea laid out, you have a strategy you want to follow, you have a way you want to go about winning a 40k game. There's eons, that's a terrible word. There is a multitude of different ways to win a 40k game. You can go for obliterating your opponent off the table, taking and holding objectives, secondary objectives and contesting primary. I mean, all different types of ways. So, let's say you have an army, like, I guess we can use my army in particular. My army is very directed around shooting and moving to objectives fast and holding them. But where my army lacks is that it can't really go into my opponent's deployment zone and take objectives. So my goal when I go to play a 40k game is to contest or get my opponent off of his objectives, take mine, and win the secondary. So basically my goal is to tie in primary objectives and win in secondary objectives. And that's usually the only way I can pull off a win, because my army is just geared towards that. So, I have my army laid out, and there's so many different HQ choices. There's one new one, Illic Night Spear, that I could choose from, but as there were almost as many in the old codex. So how I go about designing an HQ around my army. So my army is designed to take and hold objectives and shoot. So when I went to choose my HQs, I thought, okay, I have a lot of Dire Avengers, I have snipers, I have a lot of shots. So what I figured was, I also have a Wraith Lord and Wraith Guard. So, I know that's Eldar right there, but I figured one of my HQ choices should either be a Farseer or a Spirit Seer. Now why? Because a Farseer can provide fire support guide as his Primaris power. And I have snipers, guardians, dire avengers, fire prisms, crimson hunters, all these things that do a lot of shooting. So a Farseer would be a great choice to boost my shooting. Our Spirit Seer, because a Spirit Seer makes Wraithguard troops, and I usually have trouble taking objectives. So a tough troop choice would be good to hold objectives. So that's why I usually include a Farseer or a Spirit Seer in my Eldar army. Now, right, so now that's one HQ choice. I mean, there's no reason, there's so many awesome HQs that why would you ever not take two? So for my second HQ choice, I mean, there's a lot of things I could bring, but I actually tend to like Azurman. Now, some people say Azurman, I don't know. But I tend to like Azurman. I have a lot of Dire Avengers, so he works well with them. He gives them Exarch powers, actually. He goes with them and really boosts what the Dire Avengers can do. You put him and them in the Azurman and Dire Avengers in a Wave Serpent. Wow, I really can't speak English today. And fly them up to an objective, get them out, shoot, clear everything off, and hold that objective. Worst comes to worst, Azurman can charge a unit coming to contest or wipe the Dire Avengers off of the objective. So, that's choosing HQs based on your army. Choosing an army based on your HQs is a different scenario. So, let's say you're starting a new Eldar army, and you absolutely love Fuegan, because you just love the feel of him. He's actually probably one of the best Phoenix Lords. I just prefer Azurban for fluff reasons. But Fuegan he's really an incredible Phoenix Lord. So you're saying, alright, I really like Fuegan. He's got great close combat and shooting abilities. So I'd like to take him. And also, for my second HQ choice, I'd like to take... You could take... Illic Nightspear. So you decide that you really like Illic Nightspear and think he could benefit your army, and you really like Illic Nightspear and Fuegan, and you think they could benefit your army, but you don't really know how to design an army around, without... Okay, let me start over. You have Fuegan and Illic Nightspear. They're great HQ choices, and use your HQ choices. You can use them as a guideline to how to build your army. So you have Fuegan. He's the Phoenix Lord for Fire Dragons, so the logical choice would be to take Fire Dragons in your army. For anti-tank abilities. So that's a step in the right direction right there. Now, Illic Nightspear, if you want to think about it, basically, if you want to put it, he's a ranger, like Pathfinder, Phoenix Lord kind of thing. I mean, not technically, but that's what you can relate him to. So it's pretty obvious what to do with Illic Nightspear. Snipers. He complements snipers. Whether you want to upgrade them to Pathfinders, it doesn't really matter, but he complements snipers. So if you have Illic Nightspear, you really should have Rangers or Pathfinders to support him. And because he benefits Rangers, Pathfinders, and complements them so well, it sort of pushes you in the right direction of what to bring. So let's say that was your sample army. You have Fire Dragons and Snipers, and your two HQ choices. Right there, you have Anti-Tank, Anti-Infantry Monstrous Creature, and Anti-Assault with Fuegan covered. So then, once you have those baseline, foundations set, then you can build your army up on what you see fit. So, yeah, those are the two types of ways to build your army. Building an army around HQs that you like or think could help, or building HQs around an army that you already have. So, basically the difference is you could take it from the approach of a new player or an existing player coming into this new codex. So, hope that helps, and sorry I haven't been making videos recently, guys, but tune in next time. See ya.